Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the In Between the Stitches podcast. I am your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Olschwinger.
What's going on?
Week 2 of being back in the live podcast studio here at Chilton Hall at the University of North Texas. And, we covered a lot last week. I think it was about an hour and 10-minute episode. And the problem with that is now, when you do the recap of the Stars and the Mavs and all that, this is kind of a small dead period in sports where football is about to kick off, like the actual games, not the fake, not the preseason games, or not week 0. Week 1 of college football starts this Saturday. NFL starts next week. Obviously, hockey and basketball start early to mid-October. The Stars will play their first game in Winnipeg on October the 9th. So it's just kind of that spot where really baseball is the only thing going. And then obviously next week we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll have our season predictions for the NFL. We will have what else? We have looking back at last year's predictions to see how right and wrong, mostly wrong, that I was. And this is usually when Chase wins.
I think I still have that on my phone from last year.
I hope so, or else we're going to be guessing. But there is some stuff to talk about today in sports. And, obviously hockey, not much. Only thing is, I guess we can go ahead and start talking about the start of the season coming up here in about a little over a month. I don't want to call it a month and a half, more like a month and a quarter.
Yeah.
Again, the Stars will start actually on the road on October the 9th, as I mentioned earlier, against Winnipeg, and then they go to Colorado and face them, and then they come back from Minnesota and Vancouver. So you're starting off with two of your biggest rivals.
Little tough start, yeah.
The Mavs, I don't have the Mavs one in front of me, but I know they probably start about the same time.
Yeah, I think they actually, I know this, I don't remember the exact date, but I know they have like a 7-game homestand to start the season.
Yeah.
So they're at home for the first 2 weeks of the year. When it comes to schedules, 2 weeks.
They're not home?
No, they are home.
They are home.
They're home for the first 7 games of the season.
Can't wait for Fire Nico chance for the first 7
No, look,
games.
I say you only stick to that at Laker games. That's all.
Hey, there was a guy at the Ranger game that was doing it. Like that
Oh,
one game, there was nobody in the stands.
It was awesome.
And you just kept hearing, Fire Nico.
And I like how Dave Raymond finally acknowledged it, in the 8th inning.
Like the 7th, 8th inning. He finally's like, yeah, this guy's having a good day. He's saying Fire Nico the entire game. But that's really it for basketball and hockey. There really just isn't.
It's dead period for right now.
Isn't much. So we'll move to baseball, where the Rangers decided to do their best impression of the opposing team in the Bugs Bunny short, where they're just the conga line around the bases. For the good guys this time around, was it 20-3, not 30-3? It's still crazy.
I still don't know if anybody's going to beat that.
It's crazy to think 30 run. Like, we scored 20 last night, and that's a bludgeoning. We still have scored a game. There was still a game where we scored 10 more runs. Like, that's only 2/3 of the runs we scored in that one particular game, which is insane. But
when did the Orioles did they start pitching position players in that game?
I don't know if they ever did.
I mean,
this was back,
even more impressive.
This was back before that was a lot more common. Obviously, that's a lot very, very common nowadays with injuries. But I think the Angels actually had a position guy and then used another position guy to relieve him in the game, which I've never really seen before. It was really, really funny. Higashioka had a slow pitch softball home run, but Jock had a kind of a weird home run. And fans that have watched a lot of Rangers games in this new ballpark can remember that Joe Adele has had some bad memories in this ballpark. He had the one that I believe went off his glove. He was leaping to catch it. It goes off his glove and over the wall. No, this was a couple years ago.
Okay, because last night I don't think it hit his glove. I thought it did initially.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Right.
I'm like, he's got some bad memories in this ballpark with the ball hitting his glove and going over the fence. But this time around, Jock just, snuck it. He hit the top of literally the top of the top edge of the wall and went over, which is a home run. If it hits the top edge and comes back, it's not a home run. That's the difference here.
Jock's really swinging the bat lately. Lately though.
If he can continue this going into next season, I think he's going to be well worth the money we're spending for him.
Look, I get the average. I don't expect Jock to hit bat 300 on the year. I don't expect that. I expect him to be 230, 240 with 30 home runs.
If you had asked, 30 is a lot. Especially in kind of a platoon role. I was hoping for 250, 25 home runs. We can get that out of Jock Peterson. That makes us. That's kind of what him and Berger. I was expecting about 40 to 50 home runs between the pair of them.
Yeah.
So I think that that was not an unreasonable ask. I think he'll probably end up with close to maybe 15 this year, especially if he keeps getting hot.
And look, and sometimes it
And
plays
he's hurt.
It plays a factor on just the Rangers' offense in general. I mean, if the Rangers, throughout the entire year, their offense has been the most inconsistent offense I've ever seen, and you can't expect Jock just to be the one guy that goes out there and does what he's what we expect him to do every game when the entire team can't do anything, and that plays a role. So I think next year, CY does whatever he needs to do to shape this team up to be competitive next year. And if you see more consistent at-bats from everyone, not just Jock, from everyone, I think that'll lead to more successful at-bats for Jock himself, just everybody else contributing around him.
Yeah. Look, and Wyatt Langford's gotten hot too. He's hitting like 400 over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You got a big series against. Look, we are not out of this. It's not even September yet, and the Tigers were 8.5 back of the wild card spot last year on September 1st. We're only 4.5 back. So you have the problem is you have to have a good month, like a really good month, and you have to hope that Cleveland and the Royals and I think the Yankees and the Mariners. You have to hope that some of those teams also have a bad month. Boston, I haven't looked at who's ahead and who's not ahead.
I think it's.
I'm looking at that right now. Give us a second, but
the problem is that the teams that are ahead of them,
yeah.
I just don't think they are going to fall that far.
So right now you're a half game above Cleveland because you just swept them, which was huge. Right? We swept them, right? I'm not crazy. Okay,
yes.
Making sure that we didn't.
Is Seattle that final wild card?
Yeah, right now it's Boston up 2.5, New York up a game and a half, and Seattle up 3 games on Kansas City and up 4.5 on us. So we're a full game and a half back of KC, and the problem is you had an opportunity to take a ton from them and really, really squandered that. And so now you're hoping that other teams can do your dirty work for you, I mean, essentially. But you also, look, you're 6 back of Houston in the division. You're probably not getting there. But you do have a good series against Houston coming up, 3 games over the weekend against them at home. And right now, Houston's actually tied 3-3, bottom of the 7th against Colorado.
I think Colorado already took one from them.
So hopefully Colorado can really do us a solid here and beat them in Houston. But no, Houston's next weekend. I knew something.
Right, I was saying they go to Sacramento this weekend.
We're going to Sacramento and then Arizona. Then we come back for a Houston series and Milwaukee. 2 really good teams at home.
And then the Mets.
Then you got to go to the Mets, and then you got to go to Houston. And then you got the Marlins coming in. That should be 3 games. You can't allow Miami to beat you at once there.
I think Marlins are a good team, but yes, I agree that they want to have a push. That has to be
Okay, let me phrase it this way. You've got Miami and Minnesota as the last 2 home series. You need to win 5 of those games.
Yes.
And then you finish it out in Cleveland for 3. So there's an opportunity. Look, you're not out of it, but it definitely you can't keep up with this wishy-washy 5-1 on a homestand, then go out and get then 2-6 on a road series, whatever. Like you can't do that. That has to stop. You have to play like 700 baseball almost at this point to have a really decent shot at that 3rd wild card spot, and you're in that position where the teams ahead of you, like you don't face Seattle anymore, maybe thankfully. You don't face Kansas City anymore. You got Cleveland for one more series, but Cleveland is behind you. So you don't face New York anymore. You don't face Boston anymore. So you're not in full control of your destiny. This isn't like you're in like New York, where New York, if they can just win, they're good. They're in. Same with Boston. Same with Seattle. Us and Kansas City are the 2 teams that are hoping that those teams lose, and then we hope between this is Kansas City and the Rangers, that the other team loses as well so that they're not coming after your spot. Because there's really 5 teams vying for 3 spots, and that's just not great for the Rangers when you're that 15 right currently in the standings.
And it's not going to get easier either, as news in the past couple days, Nathan Eovaldi shut down for the year, Marcus Semien shut down for the year.
Pretty much, yeah.
They were saying if they make the playoffs and happen to win the wild card, maybe they come back. But, that's the odds of that happening aren't high. And it's just, it's unfortunate to lose, 2 of the guys that definitely the entire clubhouse looks up to.
They're still going to be there in the clubhouse,
of course.
But they're not on the field contributing.
Of course, but, just their production that they give on the field is just something that you can't replace. But we'll see how it plays out. I mean, look, you scored 20 runs last night. Hopefully,
The offense clicks now.
something triggers the bats of the Rangers and just they wake up and they win games with their hitting now.
Now, even if you got into the playoffs, and I know that a rotation of Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom, Merrill Kelly you felt like you could win a World Series with just riding those three guys. You still feel pretty darn good if you got deGrom and Kelly at the top, and then Jack Leiter's been spinning the ball really well lately. Patrick Corbin's kind of regaining his early season hot streak form, which, hey, he's been the surprise of the team, and thankfully, he's really the only reason.
He's been an innings eater. He's been someone that is able to, take a start and give someone an extra day of rest, which is, I give full salute to Corbin for what he's done this year.
Yeah, and so you're essentially at this point, but you're not in full control of your destiny. You just have to go out there, play winning baseball, and hope that the teams facing the teams in front of you also play winning baseball. Look, we talk about 2023 like there's some kind of juggernaut that just steamrolled through they almost smacked you in the face, that just steamrolled through 162, and we were beating everybody, and no one could beat us. And like we seem to forget we made the playoffs game 161. Like we made the playoffs by one game. It came down to the wire. Now, of course, the difference is you were facing Seattle, and they were a team that was vying for your spot, so you were in control of that. You were in control of that. But still, you had to go to Seattle and win one in 4 games, I believe it was, and you won one.
One game.
So, and you lost 1-0 the last game. So you limped into the playoffs. We think about it now because we won. So we have that revisionist view of, we were really good. We were really good, but we limped into the playoffs. No one in DFW thought this team is playing like a World Series champion going into that series against the Rays. And then you kick the crap out of the Rays, and and then you kick the crap out of the Orioles. Oh, yeah, crap, this team is playing great. And then gets down to the wire against Houston, and it was on the wire. It was down to the wire in Arizona because I did not want to have to face Merrill Kelly in a Game 6 and then a bullpen Game 7 for us against Brandon Pfaadt. I didn't like either of those scenarios. So it was a lot closer than 5 games. You weren't a juggernaut. Like, this team isn't, I'm not saying this team's 2023, but that team wasn't 2011 where you won, I think, 95 games and you were the favorite. You were one of the favorites in the league. 2023, you were not one of the favorites. And then you just you were a bit of a surprise.
And I also think that had a lot to do with them just, I'm not going to say choking the division away because they did, they did, but they didn't.
It was a bit of a collapse.
But, they still had 90 wins and they were still a team that was, in the playoffs. But for me at least, like I had a lot of, trust issues when it came to them having to win everything on the road.
Yeah.
They had to do it all on the road, and they prevailed. And it's just, still talking about it to this day, which is just crazy. And sorry about my microphone coming out. I don't know what happened there.
Well, we can figure that out after the show. But unfortunately, look, you are in a spot where you're not in control of your ability to go to the playoffs, and all you can do, tunnel vision, win today. Obviously, you're off today, but going in each game, win today, and we don't worry about what the other team's doing, and we'll see how this thing evens out at the end of September.
Well, some unfortunate news just popped up.
What now, Chase? I see Corey Seager.
Corey Seager to undergo appendectomy.
Oh, he had
out indefinitely.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not a doctor.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. So.
I believe that he's
appendix?
Yeah, that I believe that he's having his appendix out. Yeah, appendicitis. So now, as we're talking, Corey Seager has appendicitis. This is Evan Grant, and is undergoing surgery. He will be, quote, out a period of time, end quote, not ruling Seager out for the year, Chris Young said. Well,
scratch everything we just said. We'll see you guys next year.
I mean, yeah, that changes everything we were just talking about. There literally goes your best hitter just now is gone. Poof. Just like that. Gone. Well,
See, that's why I have my phone out here.
You
That's not why I have my phone open, obviously, for what we're about to get into.
you need everyone to step up. I mean, that definitely just changed the entire mood in this studio, just completely changed.
Call up Walcott.
But again, we're not calling up Walcott. We've had this conversation off camera so many times. Yeah, we'll just look. We'll see you guys next week and see where the Rangers are after this series against the Athletics. But now we got to move. And by the way, I do have the channel thing open. So if you have a question that you would like us to answer, that is open. Because I see we have two people. If I'm guessing, they're probably both related to me in some capacity. So if you have a question you'd like to ask me, feel free to do so in the comment section. I do have that open for that particular reason. We have to talk about. Well, actually, let's do college football first. Let's go off of the misery of DFW sports. Let's go off of the misery. I'm Chase. I'm
all over the place today.
He is.
It's
Normally,
typically Brady dropping his pen,
normally
dropping
it's me
notebook paper.
Usually it's me dropping stuff or messing something up. This time Chase has broken the microphone. He knocked the water bottle off in the floor you can't see in the floor. He came from an event. He's got Taco Cabana burritos down there. So the water bottle just hit the burritos.
Actually, I think I missed it.
And did it not? Okay.
I think we.
Well, the camera can't see, so this is my story. And but we got college football this week. And so let's do this first because I want to feel some happiness before I have to go through misery again. You actually have games today. 25th ranked Boise State at USF, South Florida.
It's funny. That's like a ranked team. They're like, okay, here, take this rank, lose week 1 because you don't have Genty anymore, and then you'll be out of the rankings.
Yeah. Ohio at Rutgers, Wyoming at Akron, East Carolina at NC State. I mean, nothing. Jacksonville State at UCF. I mean, nothing huge. Oklahoma State plays today. Duke plays today. Missouri plays today. Houston plays today. Minnesota plays today. So does Miami, Ohio at Wisconsin. Nebraska at Cincinnati is like the one kind of interesting game.
There's definitely some names that are playing today, but overall, just game-wise.
And then tomorrow, Tarleton State. We like the schools in Texas here, so at Army, but Western Illinois at Illinois. Kansas plays again. Auburn at Baylor. Georgia Tech at Colorado are like the two semi-interesting games tomorrow. But then obviously Saturday, you have some very important games, starting with North Dakota State at the Citadel. Super important game for the rankings. In all seriousness, Syracuse at Tennessee. Tennessee only ranked 24th, but I know they lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
But big noon kickoff, 11 a.m. It's a big deal.
Game of potentially the year.
Number one ranked Ohio State hosting. Number 3 ranked Ohio State. Is it 3? Hosting number 1 ranked University of Texas, Hook'em Horns. I'm not like a UT fan, but I will do the Hook'em Horns. I will also do the gig 'em just to piss Chase off because he is a UT fan. But look, you've got Sayan, the new quarterback for Ohio State. He was the number 1 recruit in his class. You obviously have Arch Manning, like the Heisman favorite, who has barely played in college football. He's the freaking Heisman favorite.
Yeah.
Starting for Texas tomorrow, his first true. He's the guy, not the backup getting a start. He is the starter. And actually, heard this on the Joel Klatt show this morning. I watched while I was eating breakfast. Was the last time, this is Sayan's first collegiate start. The last time that a quarterback got his first collegiate start against a number 1 ranked opponent and won was 1984. It was Jim Harbaugh for the Michigan Wolverines. So it's funny that Ohio State now has a chance to match that.
Yeah.
And it's Michigan. But look, all eyes are on that game. Ohio State, obviously, new defensive coordinator. And as somebody I love reading about the Patriots dynasty. Just it's something that I really, really love learning from. New defensive coordinator is Matt Patricia. who was a longtime assistant of Belichick, you want him nowhere near your offense. And I'm sure my friend of the show, but also someone who's been on the podcast for Seth Harrison, will vouch that
I think I'll back you up for that.
you never want Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator, but as your defensive coordinator, he's not terrible. And you don't want him as your head coach either. But as a DC, he does a pretty good job, and I think he is going to run circles around most college offenses. Now, Texas is not most college offenses, Chase. Not
No,
just
they're not.
because it's Sark, but Sark has NFL experience, so it's not like, Patricia's going up against somebody that just can't handle NFL coach defense. Obviously, Ohio State, Caleb Downs, probably the best safety in college football, but Texas, I forget that you can't see my hands below the computer, so I keep doing motions and you can't see anything. 3 preseason All-Americans for Texas on the defensive side. Michael Taft, the safety.
Mm-hmm.
That's one level. Anthony Hill, the linebacker, who my head coach, Coach Shane Tollison, Coach Denton Ryan.
And one of my favorites.
And then a guy that tortured all of 6A high school football as well as our entire district, because I'm from Waxahachie. Colin Simmons, the edge rusher from Deville, from Duncanville. Watched a lot of that guy. And look, he's and I told Chase when they recruited him, I said, Chase, this guy's a stud. You're going to love this guy. And same with LSU when they recruited Caden Durham. I said, this guy is going to be an absolute beast. I watched him in high school, and this guy he's on another level. Same with Colin Simmons. As a true freshman, he was taking meaningful snaps and was, I don't want to say dominating, but was playing extremely well, especially for a true freshman. Oh God, what just happened? What are you reading? What happened?
Oh, it's just talking about Micah and how he's one of 29 first-round picks in the Common Draft era who selected the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons. None of the others in that group played for a different team in his 5th season.
Anyway,
So.
But that's the big game. Chase, I assume you're a Texas fan. What are your thoughts on playing Ohio State week 1?
I mean, look, I'm glad we're playing in week 1 and not later in the year when it could matter more. But I'm excited. It's going to be a big test, not only just for the Texas team, but for Arch to see, look, this is the biggest stage. You're going up against the national defending champs, and they're on their home turf, when all the eyes are on you. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I don't know, who's going to win this game. Obviously, I want Texas to win, but sometimes Texas just takes its time getting out of the gate. And unfortunately, you just can't do that when you're playing against the defending champs. So we'll see what happens. Although I am excited. I hope Texas wins. They very well can win. We'll see if they can disrupt Sand. And, he's young. He's never experienced anything before. It's a tough match. Obviously you talk about Arch, and it's a tough matchup for Arch for his week 1. But it's also, look, this is a guy who's never played before going up against, Texas in week 1, the number 1 overall team. So we'll see. It should be a defensive bloodbath, that's for sure. And we'll see who can, find a way to get to 20 points first.
Yeah. And then that's really the big game this week. But this is also the week where there's no NFL football, so they can have some games on Sunday. Looking through the rest of the week, I know that Notre Dame plays Miami. That night you have the Catholics versus the Convicts. It's definitely a cultured reference. But you have Georgia they play Marshall. Penn State plays Nevada. What should be a marquee matchup, but isn't because Mike Norvell has ruined the Florida State program, is Alabama traveling to the Seminoles.
Yeah.
At 2:30. It's going to be the afternoon window. And really, that is it. For the marquee matchups, the ones that really, really matter between either ranked teams or teams that I could see ranked. Oh no, I'm sorry. LSU at Clemson is the 6:30 game. So your day should look like this. Your primary TV. I don't care what you have on the rest of your TVs. Your primary should be Texas, Ohio State, then shifts right into Bama at Florida State, then it'll shift right into LSU at Clemson. This is how college football is supposed to be. North Texas does play Lamar, so that should be a easy 1-0 for the Mean Green. We will talk about UNT football this year. Yeah. I do want to make it more of an emphasis. especially since I may at some point try to have, I have a former teammate that plays for the team now, and I'm hoping maybe if we can get him on the show, get like an interview. But that's...
I mean, I also work
You
for
do.
the sports department here, and I'm going to be around every single player for every single sport, so I can always bring in people here for whatever.
So Sunday night, Notre Dame at Miami, mentioned that, and then Virginia Tech at South Carolina is also on Sunday.
I feel like that won't be a bad game.
TCU, but then obviously Monday does have an interesting matchup. Neither team is ranked, but you have TCU, a couple years now removed from a national championship appearance where they got shellacked, but you're now seeing how they're rebounding as a program. Are they going to continue to decline, or are they going to eventually ascend again? But you have the college debut of the GOAT, the greatest NFL head coach of all time, Bill Belichick. The hoodie wearing man himself, Darth Sidious of football.
Who's favored in that game?
It looks like North Carolina's favored, I assume by the thing there. Odds.
No, it says, what is it, TCU?
TCU at minus 3.5.
Yeah, TCU is favored.
That's why.
Minus means that they're favored by...
Why? Why does that? Why? Belichick is about to coach circles around the college coaches. It is not even going to be a matchup. I mean, as long as Belichick's players can execute and do their jobs, they're going to have very little problems, I think, winning a decent amount of games this year. We'll see how his offense plays too, because he doesn't have a lot of his cronies.
Right.
Brian Flores is still in Minnesota. Patricia's at Ohio State. McDaniels is back in New England. Right. A lot of his coaches are no longer with him, so we'll see how that works. But now, unfortunately, we have to move to the thing that I don't want to talk about.
Good thing it's our final segment.
Because it just makes me so... It gives me a headache, to be honest. Like, this gives me a headache having to talk about this and continue to talk about this and continue to think about this. It is so frustrating. Cowboys did make final roster cuts. Zion Childress is back on the practice squad. They brought back Isaiah Land, who I was a huge fan of out of Florida A&M, coming out of college a year ago. So excited to see him back on the practice squad. But James Houston made the team.
Same thing with Trayshawn Holden.
Same thing with Holden.
I'm a big Holden fan. I'm glad he made it back to the practice squad.
James Houston made the team, which was something that a lot of Cowboy fans were. Him and Perion Winfrey were two guys that a lot of Cowboys fans were clamoring for. And I think it shows that Shoddy wasn't blowing smoke when he said that if you play well, if you show yourself to be one of our guys, we're going to, I don't care if you were drafted here. I don't care if... I don't care. If you've shown that you are the best option, we're going to bring you on the roster. And I thought Mozzie played fine in that third preseason game. He wasn't great, but I thought he played better. But Winfrey, should get some meaningful snaps this year. I really liked him coming out of, I believe, Oklahoma a few years ago. And I know he's had some run-ins with the law. I know he had a stint he actually was in the UFL this year. So he talked about coming into training camp. He's like, I was already warm. Good. Because I'm coming off of a full season of starting in the UFL. I'm ready to go. And so
it showed.
Look, he's a guy, he was a very, very, played with a ton of violence in college and was definitely someone I wanted the Cowboys to draft coming out of college. And then he just hasn't really been able to, he played, I think he got drafted to Cleveland. And he, either that or Minnesota, one of the two places, and he got drafted, played well in his first season, and then he had some off-field issues, and then had, I think, a few more off-field issues, and he was out of football for a time, and then for a short time, and then lashed on with the UFL, and now he's back in the NFL. And I think Cowboys fans are going to get acquainted with him very, very soon. Ezeraku, obviously on the defensive line. I think that even without Micah Parsons, you have a pretty good defensive front.
At least pass rush wise.
Ezeraku, Dante Fowler, who's the highest AAV in a long time for the Cowboys from a free agent contract. Big fan of Solomon Thomas. Excited to see him on the interior. I think he's going to really fit what Flus is trying to do with his defensive linemen. And then obviously the calling card of a Matt Eberflus defense is the linebackers. And they played extremely well in the preseason, and you're going to see them play extremely well in the regular season, I think. Whoever's out there.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else is I think Marshawn Nealon, he looks better coming into his second year. Sam Williams, a year removed from that injury, if he can regain his form. It's not a bad defense. Fully healthy is not a bad defense. I mean, if we had Trevon Diggs, Savone Revel, and Deron Bland out there at corner, I feel great. The problem is right now, I think you have maybe Trevon Diggs, definitely Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, and they just signed Reddy Stewart. Great name, by the way, from Minnesota. He was a guy out of Troy. I had a UDFA grade on him, but he was somebody that he was on my radar. And look, he's a slot guy. He tackles. He can play zone. He can play man. He's a decent option. He's basically a younger, cheaper version of Izzy Mukwamu. He's just kind of he's a very similar player. But your defense is definitely not the strength of this team. Offense is. Dak Prescott, hopefully we can keep him healthy. Because, look, Joe Milton played fine in his first game. Or in the third game, but the first two, he was rough. And that tells me as a Cowboys fan that if Dak gets hurt, you can go and phone it in, and we'll be picking in the top 12 again, hopefully. But your calling card is your two receivers. One of the best duos in football. Better than the Porzingis-Doncic duo. This is going to be the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens duo. Look, if Pickens keeps...
What could have been, though? What could have been?
What could have been, Chase? If he keeps... they're both gone now.
Not to mention Brunson in there as well.
Yeah. If Pickens keeps his emotions in check, he's a great player. It's just that occasionally he has moments where he might have a stupid penalty or he might make a stupid decision on the field. He might, like last year when we played them and we won, he pulled Jordan Lewis's mouth guard off of his face mask and got a 15-yard penalty. Now, at that point, the game was over. It didn't matter. But it's stuff like that that just makes you just scratch your head. What are you thinking? What are you doing? Will he re-sign? No, because I actually think his agent's the same one as Micah's agent. So, no, he's not re-signing here. But,
which sucks. Because we're all going to fall in love with him.
But I'm hoping that
Hopefully.
he gets a big contract somewhere else and we get a third-round comp pick for him. That would be really nice. I don't want to talk about it, Chase. I'm trying to think of everything else. Guyton appears to be on track to potentially play week 1.
Well, Tyler Smith's agent is also the same as Micah's as well.
Yeah, but I think Tyler... I don't know why. I think he'll re-sign. I think being drafted here is different. Look, this offensive line is... it's a very young group. Average age is 24 years old, I saw. So it's definitely away from what we're all used to seeing as Cowboy fans with Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin and Doug Free and those guys that we grew up watching that were all vets. I want to forget Ronald Leary. This is a new offensive line. No more Zach Martin for the first time since 2013. The longest tenured offensive lineman is now Terrence Steele at right tackle. I mean, you've got 2 guys going into year 2, 1 guy going into, I think, year 4, Tyler Smith, I think, and then a rookie. So it's a very young offensive line. And one that I think will play well, especially on that interior. Booker and Tyler Smith I think that's a great guard duo. I think BB, year 2 at center, a lot more comfortable than having to learn it in training camp and be it. I think now that he's got a year under his belt, he's going to be better. Guyton, I think, is going to be better this year. Just hopefully, stays healthy.
Yeah.
He might be out the first week or 2. And look, Nate Thomas looked pretty darn good in the preseason. The problem is the preseason, you're not seeing Nolan Smith and you're not seeing those boys over there in Philadelphia who you're going to see week 1.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. So look for, honestly, if I was the Cowboys, I'm running 12 personnel every play. I'm putting Brevin Spanford, our 6'8" tight end, out there on the left side just to give Thomas, if he's the one playing, an opportunity to not cost this offense a lot of drives, but also keep Dak vertical. We need him this season. But now, Chase, and I'll let you start because I've been talking for a while now. I'll let you start with your thoughts on the Micah Parsons situation.
I mean,
that keeps developing every day.
Yeah, I feel like there's something new every day. But no, I mean, officially today, Adam Schefter reported about an hour ago that the Cowboys are officially listening to trade offers. Which, I mean, I don't think it ever had to get to this point. I think every other Cowboy fan also agrees with me that it never had to get to this point. I'm just tired of it. I mean, like you said earlier, I obviously I want Micah on our team, and I want this to be done. And if I had to pick, I would obviously choose to just retain him for whatever it costs and get this over with. But another part of me is just like, I'm just tired of waiting and looking at my phone every single time I see a Twitter notification pop up, because it could be something that has to do with Micah. Where it's just like, look, Cowboys trade Micah Parsons for 4 first-round picks, second-round pick, Rashawn Gary, and whatever. If it's the Packers, that's been the smoke in the air. I don't know. I mean, it would be a really, really, really tough year for us, just Dallas fans, losing Luka. Obviously, 2 completely different situations. One guy wanted to stay here for 20 years of his life. Another guy says he wants out, but who knows if he really does. It's just all a mess. And I mean, I'm putting blame in this. I'm putting 33% of blame on 3 people here: on Jerry, on Micah, and on Micah's agent, David Mulugheta. I think they can all 3 of them could be handling this more maturely. I think they all 3 could be handling this just way better than what they're doing right now, with all of this drama, with all these speculations every day. I think they just need to find a way to talk and just work something out. I mean, Jerry's trying, and like I said last week, I get where all 3 of these guys are coming from. Micah wants to be paid. He's best defensive player in the league, arguably. He deserves to get paid.
Coming into his prime, too.
He deserves it. I get where he's coming from. Jerry gave him a contract 4 years ago and said, here's your contract. And if Micah didn't want to play out that contract, then he wouldn't have signed it. So I understand where Jerry's coming from to stick out your contract. You signed this. We have you under contract. You should play it out. And then his agent obviously wants to be a part of the private conversations that he and Jerry had, because look, Micah's a kid. Micah doesn't know, the ins and outs. There was a report today that Jerry offered him 5 for $202.
Yeah.
But it was he gets a 6-year. It's 6 years of leverage.
But they agreed upon this. So this is the report, is that Jerry and Micah agreed on this contract, and then the agent stepped in and said no.
That's the report. And you can keep talking, because I mean, we're probably going to sound very similar. And Bryce, I'll answer your question here in a second. But Chase, keep going.
I won't try to take everything out of your mouth. I know you want to give some insight as well, but or where was I? Just talking about the contract the contract and how Mulugheta wants to step in and do things his way, because how every single agent for every single player is as egotistical as it gets, and they want agents want to get their percentage, and that's what they care about the most. Obviously they love their clients, but they have hundreds of clients that they work with daily, and they're just another way to get some extra cash in your wallet. And I just don't know. I have a bad feeling on where this is going, because I just don't think Jerry wants to handle this anymore. No. I feel like he's just had so much pressure on his plate, and he's never had to deal with any kind of holdout like this. And Emmett was completely different. Obviously, Emmett holding out for 2 games, but Emmett still wanted to be here. Emmett was still working out. And then Jerry finally was like, oh, we're 0-2. We suck without you. Okay, Emmett, here's your money. You're the highest paid running back in football. Go on to win the Super Bowl. This is completely different. This is someone who requested a trade.
I think you just watched the documentary, Chase.
Which was amazing, by the way. But look, I mean, Micah requested a trade. Jerry's never had a superstar player, request one. And then with all this money that's lying around that, that's hopefully going to give it. I mean, it's just a messy situation. It can't end well. We all want it to be like, this is just another popularity or, PR segment from Jerry where it's just like, okay, look, all the attention's on me now. Everybody's like, oh, is Micah going to get traded? Where's Micah? Jerry, Micah? This is what maybe this is what Jerry wants. And then in a couple days, Cowboys and Micah Parsons agree to a 5-year, $200 million contract. We just don't know. And it's just a mess. I'll let you talk, Brady, because I know I was just rambling for a while.
Look, I rambled for a long time about the roster moves, so you're good.
I mean, it's just I don't know how. I'm interested to see how you feel about this and what you honestly think is going to happen. If I still had to give a prediction, I do think that they still work something out, and Micah is on the field week 1. That is my
for some amount of time because he won't play the full game.
Right, he's got to. I'm probably I was probably 80-20% on Micah being here and Micah not being here or Micah being traded. I'm now probably 70-30, 65-35, something like that in that range, just because of the reports coming out today. Because now I know Jerry's going to get pressured. He's going to get phone calls and he's going to be talking to people about it. There was no talking about anything before. Now he's going to be talking to people, and someone might be able just to convince him otherwise. And we know GMs in Dallas don't, they get convinced very easily. So we will see what happens, but I really hope, and I still think that Michael will be out there week 1.
I'm going to go down here. Look, as Chase said, this is on 3 different people. All 3 are playing. I don't want to do this, so I'm just going to look in the camera for this one.
Go ahead.
It's on 3 people. Jerry Jones, and all 3 have screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry Jones wants the soap opera. He said it in the documentary, which I've only seen some clips from, but, he said it. He wants the soap opera. He wants the sizzle, to use his wording. This is it. Everyone is talking about the Cowboys. No one's talking about the Eagles. They're the defending champs.
Nobody's talking about that. Football's here. Sorry to interrupt, but nobody's talking about football being a week away.
Not even that. And I know this isn't exactly
completely football related, but the whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged. Yeah. But the important part is that was a big story for a day? And then what happened? This is where this thing really makes me angry. Because if you want what I really think is going to happen, I still think he gets extended. You can't convince me it's not a coincidence that Taylor Swift, one of the biggest music stars of today, Travis Kelce, a player on, we can still call them a dynasty.
Yeah.
At this point. Even though they played like crap last year, and they were the luckiest team in the
Still
Super Bowl
made it to the Super
ever.
Bowl, yeah.
Lucky. Sorry, they were lucky. They got engaged. This has been one of the biggest non-Cowboy stories over the last 3 years, right? They're dating. She's at the games. Oh my God, is he going to propose? Some people have said like he would have proposed at the Super Bowl if they didn't get their teeth kicked in by Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think he would have as well.
Which would have been, actually, you know what? Salute to you, Philadelphia, for saving us from that whole thing. But never said those words. Salute to Philadelphia. But that was the biggest story in football. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, for like a day. You're telling me that coincidentally, right after that engagement announcement, all of this flood of information has come out now about the negotiations? Really? You think it's a coincidence? You think that just happened to come out now? You think the report from Ricky, and I know some people, he's not credentialed, but he's been right and he's been on things well before credentialed insiders. I don't take everything he says 100%, but it's worth it to listen to him, in my opinion. He's been right too many times for me to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. That came out. And then now other reporters like Ari and Rappaport and Schefter, you're telling me that's a coincidence? That now we know the details of the contract that was agreed to in the spring? That we want a resolution by next week, which I don't blame. I think Jerry wants a resolution by week 1. I think he wants one by tomorrow. I don't think he wants to go into practices for week 1. Actually, I don't think Schottenheimer does. I don't think Schottenheimer, and rightfully this is the Belichick philosophy, no distractions. And this is a big freaking distraction right now. And I think Jerry, what, did you see something?
No, just Schefter just posted like what's happening in the offseason, and some guy just responds saying Parsons will resign. The next comment replying to him saying, yep, Jerry will come through at the end. He loves everyone talking about him, even if not too kindly.
But here's the thing.
Everybody knows Jerry's game.
You're telling me, like, I just refuse to believe that that's a coincidence. That it's a coincidence that we now know the contract that was agreed upon. That the Packers are in on this. That they're listening to offers. Jerry is grabbing the spotlight once again. And I guarantee you that this weekend there's going to be a sudden development, or on Friday. I guarantee you this, Friday night there's going to be something tomorrow night going into week 1 of college football. Because right now that's going to be the story. On Saturday,
Texas, Ohio State, Arch for saying.
Imagine the news breaks in the middle of the Texas game. Do they have a resolution? Do they have a contract? Do they have a trade? I'm just saying that it feels right out of Jerry's playbook for there to be this in the same week that the biggest non-Cowboy storyline in the NFL. So as much as I hate to say it that way, I hate that Taylor Swift's a storyline in the NFL, but she is. Okay, I can live with it. I don't care for it, but she is. In the same week where that story finally has the biggest thing since the fact that they were dating was announced, the same week, all of this information is coming out. No. Jerry is leaking his stuff to the... That sounds awful. Jerry is leaking the information to people because it gets him talking about the Cowboys again.
Do you think that he's actually getting calls?
Of course he's getting... Chase, we forget because our front office sucks that when there's a competent front office, when a generational pass rusher, the closest thing to Lawrence Taylor we've ever seen since Lawrence Taylor, wants a trade. You see, competent GMs, Jerry wouldn't do this, competent GMs call that team and just say, hey, what are you thinking? What would it take? Just so we can start are you entertaining offers right now? Okay, well, call me back if you are.
Well, I'll rephrase. Is Jerry picking up the phone?
Yeah. Right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he talking to other GMs?
Absolutely. That's not fake. Absolutely. Of course. And we can kind of look at the Khalil Mack trade from several years ago as a potential benchmark. They got, I think, 2 firsts, a second, and like a 6th, the Raiders, but they also gave up a 2, as well as Khalil Mack. From that, the Raiders got, I think, Jonathan Abram, Josh Jacobs. No, not Josh Jacobs. They didn't get a lot from that, though. You can probably look at that trade offer.
You sure Jacobs wasn't involved?
No, because I'm pretty sure that either Jacobs or the safety, Abram, was the pick they got from us for Amari Cooper. I think the safety was that pick. Because I remember thinking, oh, well, we kind of need a safety too, but we got Amari Cooper, so who cares? Sorry. Micah, I think, wants to be a Cowboy still. But so right now I'm just talking about Jerry. That's how Jerry has screwed this thing up. Micah has screwed this up this is the same agent that dragged out T. Higgins stuff, his negotiations, and T. Higgins fired him. Mulligata. Micah, I think, has played a crucial role in this by A, requesting a trade, but B, I think, still listening to the agent. And then the agent has played a huge role in this because, and look, I'm not saying agents are evil but look, agents are worse than lawyers. They are. And Seth, if you're watching this, I'm sorry to tell you that. But, well, actually, is that really a compliment to be like, well, actually, you're not as bad as these other guys over here. You're bad, though.
Because you're not the worst.
Agents. It is not David Mulligata's job to make sure that Micah Parsons is there week 1 so the Cowboys can win. He does not care whether or not the Cowboys win or lose. All he cares about is that his client gets the most money.
But it's on Micah.
But see, to me, that's not what sports agents should do. My dad told me the story of Pudge Rodriguez going into, I think it was Tom Greaves' office, saying, here's what I want. I want to be here. They worked it out. He sent it to Boris, because that was Pudge's agent. Boris said, don't do this. And he said, you work for me, sign the papers, get it done. You see, players that do that, that's what you should be doing. The agent works for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. If you want to be in Dallas, you tell your agent, hey, this is where I'm mad at the agent and Micah. Micah, you had a deal. You worked it out. What you do is you send it to your agent and you say, here's what we worked out. Finalize the contract. This is what we're doing. And the agent said, no. Well, you can say that I'm firing you and I'm getting a new agent that will do what I want. What's 3% of 200 million? I don't know what that is, but whatever 3% of that is, it's probably a lot of money, right? The agent either says, okay, well then fire me, or the agent goes, okay, well then we'll do that. But no, Micah has stood by and let his agent run this whole thing for him. And that's what I don't like. The agent does not care if he's on the field. He's literally getting a second opinion on his back. He's trying to find a doctor.
$6 million, by the way.
Okay. He is trying to, God, $6 million. What can I do with $6 million? His agent is probably telling him, Micah, go get us. Micah's not driving this bus. He's literally getting a second opinion on his back just so he can find a doctor that says, no, you're too injured to play, so he can sit on the bench and get paid. That is where this has gone. I don't think Micah would do that. He does not strike me as the type of guy to try to get essentially a fake doctor's note so that he can sit, because right now, if he sits out of games, he forfeits his game check. So he doesn't get towards the cap, and the Cowboys can just franchise tag him the next 2 years. He literally can't do anything about it. So either he sits for you really think Micah Parsons is going to sit out for 3 years playing football? Hell no. He has no leverage. He has zero leverage. As long as Jerry is willing to take the hit in terms of like the team, screw it. Micah has no leverage in this spot. He has a little bit. Your team isn't as good without me. But if Jerry's okay with that, which I think we can all agree he probably is, then Micah has no leverage because he can be under contract for the next 3 years without Micah say so. That's where I'm at with this whole thing. And if they trade him, I want 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third, or I want 3 firsts, a second, and a third. Someone made this someone said the Ravens could be interested, which is fine. If they trade him to the Packers, I will be pissed because get him out of the NFC. Don't trade him to a team that you could be competing with for a playoff spot. Trade him to the AFC. Trade him to Baltimore. Travis Jones and 3 first-round picks. There you go. There's your nose tackle. He's a pretty darn good one. And then or you trade for one of their corners. I want a player and a lot of picks. Micah is 26 years old. He's probably got at least 6 or 7 more years of
Dominating.
Because this isn't like running backs or receivers that once they hit that like 31, 32, they fall off a cliff typically. Edge rushers, we've seen this with guys, even like, veteran edge rushers, veteran defensive linemen, may not be like Calais Campbell, for example, is old, but he's still a very productive player. Micah may not be in his prime in 10 years, but at 36, he's athletic enough to still be a really solid pass rusher. So he could get us that. He's probably going to get 2 big contracts. This is the first one. And that's another part of it, Chase, it really angers me. You signed a contract to play. This is what really just pro athletes that makes me want to just... I am all for paying an athlete. Micah deserves a lot of money. He deserves the highest non-quarterback contract in NFL history. He deserves it. Absolutely. My problem is that you signed a contract, and now you're not honoring that contract.
That's what I'm saying, yep.
Play. I don't want to use I want to use harsher language than what I'm about to say. Don't be a weenie. Don't be a wuss. Don't. You're hurting your team. If I was a teammate of Micah, honestly, I'd be pissed at him because you're under contract. You're going to make $20-something million this year. Play. Help us win. And then in the offseason, go get even if you're telling me if Micah Parsons, for some reason, let's say he tore his ACL, don't want it to happen, making sure, right? Don't want it to happen. But he does. You're telling me that's going to completely diminish his value? No. Hell no. Someone's still signing him. It's probably a big contract. Like that, I don't see that. And so this situation has gotten completely out of hand. And you know what? I'm at the point, this isn't like Luka, where Chase calls me and it was like our lives just changed forever and we had no idea. I want a resolution. I'm tired of it. If we trade Micah and we get Now, this also comes down to, do you trade Jerry Jones to get a worthy package for Micah Parsons? I don't.
Yeah, and I'm worried about if they do trade him, if they get one first-round pick for him.
I want multiple firsts, probably multiple day 2 picks, and a player. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. I know the Packers, I want 2 firsts. I want their next 2 firsts, their next 2 seconds, and Rashawn Gary. I'd be fine with that. I don't want him to Green Bay, but I'd be fine with that. Or, you know what'd be really fun? The Cowboys did? I got an idea. Baltimore. Baltimore took Mike Green, who I loved coming in this year's draft. How about 2 firsts, like a third, and Mike Green to replace? He's a rookie, to replace Micah. I would love that. That would be a very smart trade. I know he's got some off-field issues, but in terms of ability, I actually think if Mike Green turned into Micah Parsons, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's be clear though that we don't. Our first and foremost thing is we don't want to trade.
No,
Micah.
I want him on this team. I have his jersey. I've worn the jersey on camera. I love Micah Parsons. I don't want him gone, but I want this over. I want this over. I want him either on the Cowboys with an extension, or I want him on another team and we get a king's ransom. That's what I want. I want this over. I'm tired of it dominating the headlines. I'm ready to just think about football. I'm ready for next week. I'm probably going to watch. I don't remember if we actually played them when we had Dak, but I'm probably going to do some study on the Eagles, right? Just to get ready for getting that week 1 mindset, or I may watch some college stuff. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I want to prepare for the show next week. By our next show, which might be next Thursday, I want there to be a resolution to this whole thing.
Look, we can get off this microphone and camera, and it's happened before. 2 minutes later, something happens, and I don't know if we can do this live, so we probably can just hop on your phone and just talk. But I would expect the next time that we talk to everyone, something will be done, whether that's Micah in a Cowboy jersey or Micah in someone else's jersey. I have a feeling that here in the next few days, something will be done.
Oh, yeah. There will be a resolution to this by our next show. And I'm hoping that it's weeks into them. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. This feels textbook Jerry. Leak the stuff out to the media to take away from the Travis Kelce stuff and
just end up extending Micah.
But we'll see. It's sizzling. I mean, Jerry, how much more do you want? How many more headlines do you want? I'm sorry. We're tired of this. Just do something. And I think something it's gonna be resolved by next week, which gives me some hope that by week 1 we'll know, and whatever that is, we'll have to live with it. Hopefully he's back, he's wearing a star, and he's playing. But we'll see. He'll probably play. I expect him to play maybe 50% of the snaps, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, look, I don't have any expectations going into the Super Bowl champs' house week 1. Cowboys always need some time to get into their season, unless it was the 2 years ago versus the Giants. That was a beatdown. But
it's the Giants. Sorry, it's the Giants.
I don't expect the Cowboys to win this game. I don't even expect the Cowboys to make this game competitive. But look, it'll be 0-1.
And Bryce, to answer your question, well, it affects the Cowboys. How does this affect the Cowboys going into the rest of the season? Well, it does, because you either won't have your best player, or you do have your best player and you get to ramp him up. But more importantly, the storyline will not continue over the season. I think Schottenheimer's probably told Jerry at some point, look, dude, figure it out. I don't get him on the team, get him off the team. I don't care. We can't have this distraction while we're trying to win a Super Bowl. And you know what? I want to say one thing here. I hate it when people soundbite players when they're like, what's your goal? To win Super Bowl, right? They asked Dak that, I think, last year. Like, when you hear 2024 Cowboys, what do you think? And he said Super Bowl champions. Everyone clowned him for it. Why?
Yeah, what's he supposed to say?
Why? What's he supposed to say?
Wild card losers?
I hope we suck. I hope I tear my hamstring in Atlanta and we have Cooper Rush and we get shellacked by every good team the rest of the season. I hate it. I don't like sports trolls. I hate sports trolls. You occasionally do it, and it's fine because you don't live and do it.
I do it in the sense that I know I'm doing it, and
Well, there are people
I'm not
that's being a troll.
but I'm not 100% serious when I do
Exactly.
it.
I know.
I say things as a troll. Like, I mean, I don't even know the most recent thing. Like, I guess when it was, I don't know, maybe someone with the Rangers is saying, like, worst team of all time.
Probably Jock.
Whatever.
Probably Jock.
But like, I'm just saying that because in the moment,
I know.
I'm mad.
I know. And look, that's fine. But there are people that clip that and they go, they really think they're going to win. Well, of course. I hate it when people make fun of Cowboys fans and they say this is our year. Of course I believe we're going to win the Super Bowl. I hope we do. I hope every year that we win the dang Super Bowl. That I should not be faulted because I want and hope to see my team win. Do I think we're going to win? Hell no. But I hope we do. I'm not going to say this is our year. I guess that this is our year, people get mad because it's like you're trying to say you're one of the best teams and you're not really one of the best teams. And I can maybe understand that from just like a football perspective of if I had a Cowboys fan come up to me and be like, oh yeah, we're going to win because we're the best, I'd be like, no, we're not. But to fault me for hoping that we win, of course, I hope we win. Will we? No, probably not. But I hope we do. And our chances of winning are greatly increased if number 11 is honking off that edge opposite of whoever's on the other side, which will not be DeMarcus Lawrence this year. Which is funny.
Wait, is this real?
What? What happened? Oh, God, what happened? Where did he get traded to?
Green Bay?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yep. 4 years.
That's fake.
It's
Chase.
real. It's real.
Chase, I can see that it's fake from here.
It's real. There it is. Adam Schefter. Micah to the Packers. There it goes.
Wow.
Jeez, dude.
Wow. Well, folks, this show's going to go on for a little bit longer. My phone's about to die. You have a charger on you?
No.
Folks,
Wow.
it's real. Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. So you're trading him to the team that you're competing with. Why? Get him out of... We better have gotten a king's ransom. We better have gotten a king's ransom.
The Packers have worked quietly with Dallas on a deal over the last several days. There it is.
Wow. Jordan Love recruited him. Do we play Green Bay this year?
Wow.
I don't think we do. Your deal done by... Well, 2 first-rounders heading back to Dallas. It's possible there's additional compensation, potentially a player. It better be Rashawn Gary.
Wow.
Ha! We do play the Packers this year.
We do.
Sunday Night Football at AT&T Stadium. Well, I need a new jersey again. I was going to get a Rangers jersey. Now I need a new Cowboys
Unbelievable.
jersey.
Unbelievable.
2 first-round picks. It better be a lot. Wow. I'm just I'm shocked.
And there's this tweet from Schefter.
This is the worst sports year ever, bro. I mean, look, and I literally just said, like, am I happy that it's over? Yes. Honestly, yeah, I'm happy that it's over. Get him, just do something. And they did something. Jerry.
Unbelievable.
I hate the agent. David Mulugeta can go do things to himself because I'm blaming him and Jerry. Micah a little bit again for not firing the agent, but they had a contract, and the agent stepped in and said no. And then Jerry refused to negotiate because he felt they already had a deal, and he felt they were going back on that now. Childish. 2 first-round picks is not enough. There needs to be more.
Wow.
And what sucks is that, Micah wanted to be a Cowboy. Wow. Well, your team just got infinitely worse. I'm waiting to see what we get back before I turn the show off.
Yeah.
My phone's at 5%. So we lost Corey. This is just the worst sports year ever. Micah Parsons will receive $62 million in the first year of the deal, $120 million fully guaranteed, a total of $136. It's $47 a year, by the way. If we didn't announce that, $188 million over 4 years with $136 guaranteed.
Since Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys in 1989, he's only traded away one player immediately after a Pro Bowl season, Thomas Everett in 1994.
Wow.
Micah Parsons becomes the second.
I mean, this is the thing about Micah. Your team just got worse. And I mean, look at this for the Packers. That Packers team, I mean, wow.
Makes no sense.
I mean, you're trading him to the team that has been your biggest bugaboo over the last 30 years. I mean, shocked. Absolutely shocked. You lose Luka and you lose Micah in the same year. And your team is now, hey, look, you drafted Ezeraku. He is now going to have to step in and be the guy. Look, I was about to cut off the show. God, if that had hit 10 seconds after we cut off the show, I would have come back live. There would have been a part 2. That's too big to walk away from. I mean, look, this is an interesting day in Cowboys history. Again, as I just said 15, 20 minutes ago, I didn't want him gone. I wanted him here.
Yep.
But Jerry worked out a deal with him.
I thought he would be here too.
Got pissed at the agent.
Does this clear
I mean, look.
Does this clear up more money to bring Pickens back, or?
You definitely have money now. I mean, you definitely aren't taking up more of your cap space. And hey, Ricky. Rumors with Ricky again.
Yeah.
He called it the Packers. And I was just shocked. I didn't think. But you know what? Now we can get to football, bro. We don't have to worry about, is he back? Is he not back? What is the compensation?
Yeah, I know.
My phone's going to die on me.
I have it. I have it here. So, a statement from Micah Parsons.
$47 million a year. Yeah, Jerry wasn't doing that for Micah. That is too much. That's just it. In the documentary, doesn't he talk about the loss to the Packers in there?
He said, North Texas will continue to be my home in the offseason. I'll still be here giving back to the community that gave me so much. Yeah. He wanted out.
I mean,
he meant it.
I mean, I'm just looking at this. I'm going to go in. My phone's about to die, so Chase, I'm going to have to rely on yours.
I'm just refreshing everything.
Wow. Shocked. I mean, this is Luka big.
Yeah.
The good news is defensive end is something that let's start with the good news. There's good news here, right, Chase? We can agree on that, right? Good news. It's over. We can focus on football now. Week 1. That's what we're working on now.
But that's all the conversation during the entire game from the broadcast is just going to be about Micah.
They can talk about it, but we have a resolution. And I like Ezeraku. I think he's going to be a great player. And you need Marshawn Nealon to step up now. What's funny is, though, you let DeMarcus Lawrence go so that Micah could be the leader, and then you trade him. Funny. I'm waiting to hear what the compensation is before we go offline, because I know 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So I assume first-round picks in 26, 27, which I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of talent. We were talking about this last night. There's a lot of talent in college football. This gives you trade chips. You need to move up for somebody. Because, look, the Packers are going to be picking between 25, 26, and 32. I mean, they're a Super Bowl contender. Like that.
Yeah, Micah just posted on Twitter. Thank you, Dallas. Go, Pack, go.
I mean, this is like Reggie White.
Yeah.
This is literally Reggie White happening again. Hats off to the Packers. I mean, I don't hate the Packers. I know a lot of Cowboys fans do. I don't hate them because they beat us. This isn't, I don't blame them for the Dez thing. I don't blame them for that Jared Cook catch. And I don't blame them for Dan Quinn's defense being Swiss cheese in the wild card game. I don't hate the Packers. I actually kind of like the Packers. I like Jordan Love. I think they're one of the smartest teams in football. They've been a contender over the last 30 years because they actually know how to develop quarterbacks. Like, I give them credit. And they're going to get a Super Bowl with Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. Like, and that's the thing is Micah and Jordan Love are buddies. They did the podcast stuff together.
Oh, this trade, people are saying this trade has been done for days.
Really?
Yeah, this trade has been done for days.
So they've been working on an extension.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
This trade's been done. Because it was so...
Can I see your...
Well, I'm just scrolling. Yeah, I'm just scrolling.
I can't see
Here, just start scrolling.
I don't want to like...
I have the same feed as you, so...
I know you do. Well, no, I do this. Go over to the... Here, and then just... This is what I do. And refresh.
There you go.
To see you get... from Micah... From his agency, Micah Parsons is now the highest pay. Oh, screw Mulugheta. Micah Parsons. I'm just trying to find...
What is that?
Just...
Okay.
I'm trying to find what we get besides
That's not there yet.
one besides 2 picks.
I can. Whew.
136 million guaranteed. Oh, in total guarantees. 120 fully guaranteed, 62 in the first
So
year.
Jerry just didn't want to pay that? I mean,
I think no. Jerry had a contract worked out. Jerry had felt like they had a deal, and then the agent stepped in and said no. And Jerry said, well, then we're not doing a deal because screw you. Well, folks, we may not see the conversation. I don't want this to go on for 2 hours and then we're just sitting here waiting. The good news is that it's over.
some guy in the comments, I don't know if he's right. He said 2 firsts, a second, and a fifth.
I want a player. I want Rashawn Gary. I mean, that 2 firsts and a second and a fifth is not enough.
Is it all just for this next year? I mean,
Well, no. It'd be a first and then a first the next year too. We're gonna have 2 straight drafts with 2 first-round picks, which brings me to my good news. Good news: defensive end, you're deep. You're deep at defensive end. Ezraku, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, all those guys. Like, you have talent there. Not Micah Parsons, but you've got talent. I'm just shocked, to be honest with you. Didn't think Jerry would trade him.
I mean,
And I'll give you that there's 3 pieces of good news. 1, it's over. 2, defensive ends, one of your deeper position groups on the team.
yeah, it is.
So, I mean, obviously it's ludicrous to say that we're okay without Micah. No, we're a worse team without Micah Parsons. But at the same time, you do have guys there. Not anyone you worry about on that caliber, but still. You know.
I mean, this just scares me just going forward with the potential extension with Pickett. It's the same agent.
and then
And this happened because Jerry went behind his back.
yeah,
And I mean, the agent definitely doesn't sit well
no.
with this. I mean,
And then, well, the agent's happy now. The agent got a lot of money. And then, looking at this for the good for things, Chase, as much of a draft nerd as I am, and I think I'm kind of turning you into a true draft nerd, we have the next 2 years with our team picking twice on day one, which is exciting.
so yeah.
So that means that when we're scouting those guys, that we're going to have 2. So, I mean, look, that allows you
Here it
to...
is.
What?
Oh, a frontline player. Trade package includes 2 first-round picks and a frontline player.
Ooh.
Dallas won this trade 100%. Some guy says. That's all that popped up. That's it.
Schefter, 2 first-round picks and a frontline player.
As in like frontline, as in literally like the defensive line, or as in just like a top of the.
Top of the line player.
I mean, look, I'm not.
We're just
Look, I'm.
refresh.
Wait, let me send this to my friends group chat just so everybody can.
Obviously,
Wait,
front
oh, something
line
popped up.
player.
What was that?
who is it? Tell me.
Oh no, it's just saying the Packers are going to Cowboys on week 4 of Sunday Night Football. Oh, that's gonna be.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see what Mike Parsons does against us.
Looking at this, trying to think. Who could we get? Frontline player that we need. Josh Jacobs?
Oh my gosh,
What?
that would be awesome, but no chance.
Rashawn-
They don't have a run
uh,
game without
Rashawn-
him.
Rashawn Gary?
It's got
Here, go to PFF on your phone. Unfortunately I can't.
on Twitter.
No, like PFF, like online.
Oh.
And just I want to see what the roster looks like. Your dad's calling you?
Do we answer?
Actually, hold on.
Should I tell him to call you or
Hold on. No. Bluetooth. Let's see if we can get this. You should see
Hold on.
something.
Let's see.
Hold on.
Kenny Clark to the Cowboys.
Defensive tackle.
Kenny Clark.
Heck yes. That is a lot better. Let me see if I can find a way to get your dad on this call. Just give me a second. Tell him to give me a second. Okay, Bluetooth. Here, should be Roadcaster Pro.
Kenny Clark. I mean, that's awesome. Bluetooth. Could you imagine the one Cowboys won the Super Bowl this year?
Roadcaster Pro 2.
Pair.
Paired to iPhone. All right, now call.
Kenny. There it is.
Call your dad.
Official. Micah
That's
Parsons.
a heck of a defensive
and Micah
tackle.
Parsons for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks.
I like it.
Fine.
I'm fine with it.
Cook, Jerry. Fine.
I'm fine with that.
If you really didn't want him,
I'm fine with that.
wait. So I call him back now? I don't.
Yeah, call him. Let's see how this works.
Oh, there we go.
You okay?
You are actually on the
live,
podcast.
You are live on the air.
I am live on the air. Well, hello, world.
Yeah, we are. We have our setup. And
So
you're-
for everyone, this is Chase's dad. I don't know your dad's first name.
Eric.
Eric Olschwanger. How are you doing today on this? Well, this dark day for I guess interesting day for Cowboys
It's
fans.
interesting now.
You know, let me tell you guys something. Were they going to win the Super Bowl with Micah?
No, but it certainly helps
Probably
their
not.
odds.
Probably not.
Helps the odds, but it ain't going to happen. That's just the reality of it. Now, I don't know what they got for him. Do y'all know what
Yes,
they got?
they got Kenny Clark, which is a Pro Bowl defensive tackle, and 2 first-round
Right.
picks.
What picks are those?
They're probably
No.
going to be, I mean, looking at the Packers roster, they're probably going to be between 26 and 32, late firsts.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. You know, I mean, the way I look at it, they're not going anywhere with him except paying him a lot of money, which disables them from, doing other things. They need a lot more on this team than just Micah. So at least now you've got a little bit of hope. You can't pay everybody
No.
a top 3 in their position.
Well, we were
You just
saying that
can't do it.
this will hopefully help with Pickens, because Pickens was a 1-year rental with the contracts that were with Dak, CD, and Micah that would have been. And people were like, oh, Pickens is going to be here. Hopefully they can make a deep playoff run with him, and that'll be it. Now you open up money. Unfortunately, Pickens' agent is Micah's agent. So we just don't know how well Jerry and his agent are going to work together now.
Oh, sorry, hold on, I lost you guys.
Oh, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Well, look, the bottom line is agents, players, whatever, if they get what they want, then they're going to sign. Okay. So it's business. I'm not worried about that. But you got to build a strong line on each side of the ball. And, it's great to sign, skill position players. The Cowboys, we all know, other than at receiver, need them. Look, if it were me, and as much as I like Dak as a person, I wouldn't have paid him. And I love the guy. He's a great guy, a great leader, it's the face of a franchise. But I wouldn't have paid him all that money. Just like I wouldn't have paid Zeke all that money years ago.
Well,
I think CD was worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Top 3 receiver.
But
Yeah.
I like CD. I think that contract was worth it. But you can't pay Dak and CD and Micah and field a competitive team if everybody's maxed out. You just can't do it. So
And I think Jerry wanted to pay him.
Oh well, yes. Jerry likes to pay his guys. We know that.
yeah, look, people can say what they want about Jerry. God knows I've said a million things about Jerry. Chase knows that. But he is loyal. He's loyal to his players. He's loyal to his staff. He's a very loyal person. And this goes against anything he's ever done. When has he not paid a guy?
It was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas Everett.
Yeah, that's mid 90s.
That was the only player
Yeah,
he's traded after
Thomas-
coming off of a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, Thomas Everett was a safety from Pittsburgh, that I believe, that they got in the 90s, who was a great role player. Not a superstar, a great role player. And there's a lot, no offense to Thomas Everett, there's a lot of Thomas Everetts in the league.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I think they went on from him to maybe Brock Marion. I think that's what they did. But, Jerry has these issues with the contracts, as we all know, going back to Emmett and everything, but he's always paid them. He's always paid them.
He gives in.
He just drags it out for the drama or for whatever the reason. But if you want to take him for his word that he made Micah a very fair contract offer and Micah didn't want it, then I don't put this on Jerry.
Okay, so the report that came out, it actually came out today. We found this out live on the show. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
And I had told Chase, I said, so it came out that they had agreed upon, I think it was 5 years at $40 million a year.
Yeah,
5 years, 202.
Yeah.
And that was Micah and Jerry agreed on a contract, and the agent stepped in and said no. And that's why Jerry got pissed and said, well, then I won't negotiate, because in Jerry's mind, as demented as it is, thinks we have a deal and they just won't sign it. Whereas Mulugheta, the agent, is saying, well, no, you had a deal, but not with me.
Hey, you know what? Look, the reality is the world we live in, you have to do it through the agents, but it's Micah's decision. It's
Yes.
Micah's decision. The agent works for him. And if Jerry made a competitive offer, even though that's not the way it works, you don't do it with the player directly. But if Jerry said, the highest paid, non-quarterback guaranteed money?
Yeah.
Then it is a legitimate, fair offer. If that is what it was.
He's getting 47
Okay.
from the Packers.
Micah's getting 47 a year.
Good for him. Good for him.
It's more.
And if that's the case, I'm glad Jerry didn't do it.
Yeah. That's where
Because you just can't pay everybody.
That's where I'm at with Chase, where I'm just like, look, 2 firsts, as much of a draft nerd as I am, and studying the draft and knowing that you can find difference makers even at the back end of the first round, and you have 2 big lottery tickets and a Pro Bowl caliber defensive tackle, which, as you know, defensive tackle has been one of the weakest position groups on this team for the last 30 years. We have, since not 30 years, since Jay Ratliff was here, we have not really had a difference maker. This is probably the best defensive tackle we've had since him.
That's what my friends were just saying. They said in the last 30 years, probably the best defense. Like, this is a good defensive tackle. I'm not saying
How old of a guy is he?
He's young. I don't know if he's on his.
I thought he was up there.
I don't think he's old.
Let's see.
He's probably, I'd guess, 28. But defensive tackle.
Hey, let me tell you something.
He's 29. He's
Micah-
29. He's 29.
You can be old and play D tackle though.
Okay, 29 is not a youngster.
This is, but this is a good player. Like, he's made 3 Pro Bowls in his 8-year career.
Defensive line is one of those that you can play in offensive line too. As weird as it sounds, because as physically demanding as the positions are, older guys have been. This isn't like receiver where once you hit 30, 31, you're probably on the decline. 28, 29, you could still be either in your prime or still a really, really good player.
Yeah. Like I said, to me, the bottom line is you're not winning the Super Bowl if you sign Micah.
No.
So does it really, really matter?
Yeah.
Now you at least have
Flexibility.
some young players. Hopefully, if you can draft well, and the Cowboys are, they draft decently. Not Mozzie, but they draft decently.
Not other than Michigan defensive linemen. I think what was it that came out this year? Since Will McClay took over in 2014, we have the most all pros drafted.
Yeah.
Look,
it sound right.
Something like that.
Look, the Cowboys, as much of a joke as they've been the last 30 years. But look, I was born here. I was born in the late 60s. I've watched all of it. Okay, Die Hard, all of it.
Same as my dad.
So, it's as much of a joke as they've been, and all the stuff that we yap about, Jerry the GM, blah blah blah, which is all valid. The reality is they have had some good teams the last however many years. Good. Now that's not good enough, not for this town, but it's so. Like I said, they weren't going anywhere with Micah. If they can turn these draft picks into something and not have to pay, $47 million a year, then I don't have a problem with it. And let me tell you something. I remember a couple of years ago, Micah, out of his own mouth, there's a quote out there somewhere where he ain't going to play forever, right? He's a smart enough guy to where there's more for him after football, health-wise. He wasn't going to play forever. He wanted that one big contract. Now, will he, play another 4 years? But, I mean, Micah could be, and I don't remember the exact quote, but he did say something in public to where, he could retire by the time he was 30, let's say.
He's 26 right now, for reference.
Okay. This might be his last big contract.
Yeah, who knows?
Same as Lucas.
So we
DFW fans, I mean, we were just talking about this too on the show. I mean, the Rangers have collapsed this year. The Mavericks, I know that they're looking up as a team, but still the PR of trading away your global superstar. The Stars can't get past Western Conference Finals, but they're the only team that's worth a dang right now, it feels like, trading from Eco Ranton and doing those things. But the Cowboys are the.
You mean you're not buying Nico Harrison's vision of doing what he did and getting the number one pick?
I am buying.
You don't think that was his vision from the beginning, as lucking into Cooper Flag?
It was Adam Silver's vision.
Yeah.
There's a couple things
Yeah,
that with
Nico.
the Packers won come to Dallas week 4.
Yeah, we play him this year.
So
that's what we were talking about.
that'll
too,
be interesting.
Is if we were going to trade him, I wanted to trade him out of the NFC where he can't hurt you unless you make a Super Bowl. But now you traded
He's
him.
the least of.
But now you
Look,
traded him.
the Cowboys are not going to sink or swim with whether they have or don't have Micah.
No. I'm talking about you traded Micah to the Packers, who are one of the contenders in the NFC, rather than trading him out of the NFC, where the only way you'll see him is every 4 years / in the Super Bowl if you make it.
So the Cowboys will have 3 first-round picks this upcoming draft?
How?
Or because they got 2 from Green Bay, right?
No. Chase. When they say 2 first-round picks, they have their first-round pick in 2026 and their first-round pick in 2027.
Okay.
So we unless we make a trade, we will be making 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. That's 4 big swings at finding difference makers, which, I mean, that can be how you parlay a Super Bowl. You're supposed to win when these guys are not under extension contracts. You're supposed to win when your star players are on their rookie deals, not when they all get paid.
Look, the next time the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, I promise you, Dak will not be the quarterback.
Well,
No offense to Dak. I think Dak is he's a fine, capable quarterback when he's healthy, if everything around him is right. And everything around him is not right. So it's not going to, it's just not going to happen with this regime the way it is right now. So I'm all in favor of getting all the picks you can, and one day maybe you'll get your head on straight as a general manager and realize you need to build this thing properly with the right person making the calls. That's, again, not going to happen, but it's fun to think about.
Well, and with the Cowboys, new coach, so a chance to have this coach establish a culture this year, going into next year's draft with 2 picks, keeping the culture up in the next year, 2 more first-round picks, and with a chance to add 4 difference makers that propels your team from middle of the pack to top of the NFC. Is a chance.
It'll play out. It's kind of like the Luka trade. It'll play out.
Yep.
The Cooper Flag getting, if he is what we all hope he is, that threw a wrench into our hate of Nico. Right.
But it wasn't even Nico's genius that gave us Cooper Flag. Right. It was his
just luck.
No. I'm just saying I'm just saying that's what I'm being sarcastic. That Nico got. Look, the fans deserved it. Nico did not. Right. So luck in the Cooper Flag.
Very.
But the reality is
or the owner.
you know, it will all play out.
Micah
And
said
I
that
just
he's still
chose-
going to be living in North Texas in the offseason. He said he's still going to be giving back to the community.
It's because a lot of athletes, when they come to, and your dad can vouch for this, it's been happening for decades now, where when athletes come play for DFW teams, they stay here. No state income tax, great neighborhood. Like, it's a great place to live. Beltray, I think, still has a house here.
Well, no, it's just kind of surprising because Micah's not Luka where he didn't want to leave. There's probably some fans. It's 50-50 right now that don't like Micah for this.
The heel turn, to use wrestling terms for a second, the heel turn of Micah Parsons and the baby face turn of Jerry Jones has been really funny. As I said in the show, and you can listen back to it later, Jerry sucks because he is a child that refused to negotiate when the agent stepped in, and the agent nixed a deal that was agreed upon. So both sides are at fault, which sucks because you can't. There is no right guy. Both sides are acting like children arguing over the last cookie in the cookie jar, and we as fans just want to see. We just want to see action, which happened.
Yeah,
it's over. No more.
I mean, look, to me, this, if you had said back in, let's say after Christmas, let's say in January that, you're going to lose Micah, you're going to lose Luka, probably the two biggest athletes in Dallas. That's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But to me, the reality is I don't even put Micah in Luka's category because the Cowboys they're not sniffing anything where I think we all felt like the Mavericks would do it with Luka eventually.
The Mavericks ceiling going into this last season was champion. The Cowboys ceiling going into this year is wild card loss. That's like our ceiling.
The Cowboys are going to be fighting for third place in the division.
Yes.
And that's not going anywhere. So that's with Micah. They're fighting for third place. So look, I'm sorry to see him go. He was an entertaining guy. He was a great player.
Yes.
Sorry to see him go. I wish him nothing but the best. Adios, muchacho.
We hope Izaraku is him one day.
I guess. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. This has actually been cool to test out the capabilities of this.
Yeah.
So appreciate it.
And Charlie sends her best, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Tell her thank you.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you later.
I will. All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Well, there goes Chase's dad. What'd you say? I'm sorry. What'd you say? Eric Olschwanger. Look, longtime DFW fan. If my phone was working, I'd have my dad on the phone right now. Unfortunately, my phone is not working. I'm sure people are calling me. I'm sure Seth has called me at this point. So has my dad and my grandparents. Unfortunately, my phone is off. So there is no calling me right now because it's dead. Because I'm an idiot who didn't charge it and didn't think about it. Anyway.
Oh, before we go, I know we've been here for a long time.
Oh God, we've been here for probably 2 hours.
I wanted to bring up
point.
one thing just because we got Kenny Clark in return. What does this mean for Mozzie?
Oh, this means get your.
He's just gone?
No, he's not gone. Okay, look.
You got Osa and Kenny Clark now.
Look, Mozzie's a backup now.
Okay.
He's been demoted to backup, which is fine. But Kenny Clark, I'll tell you this right now. You got a definite, and I know that, his dad, he's getting older. Yeah, but defensive tackle is one of those positions that you can play at a high level even as you get older. We know that from Jonathan Hankins, who played really well here and it was at the end of his career.
Yeah.
With Kenny Clark, look, great defensive tackle, and I think he's more athletic. This is my new project before next week is to go watch tape on Kenny Clark, and just to kind of get a feel for who he is as a player. But if I remember correctly, very athletic guy that can play. I think he's going to be able to play the Eberflus one tech extremely well. I mean, he's definitely. It's kind of weird when you're traded for another player. You know what I mean?
Coach Murphy.
My coach is calling me.
Oh, your basketball head coach?
Yes. This will
That's
be.
funny.
You want me to answer? This will be interesting.
Will he keep it PG?
I'll tell him. Hold on one second. Hey, coach. Coach, can you hear me? Wait, real quickly. I just want to let you know that you're live on air. You're live on air. Okay.
Listen.
You're live on our podcast right now, so just keep it PG. That's all I ask.
All I ask is, what are you guys gonna do week 2?
With what?
What are you guys gonna do week 2 when you run into my Giants?
Well, the Giants, I'm not concerned about.
Whoa. I got the best front four on defense. Name me another big front four like I got.
Well,
Brian
that would
Burns.
probably be Green Bay now. But look,
Green Bay, are you out of your mind?
I mean, well, I mean, look, they did just give us their best defensive tackle, but look,
Oh my goodness, is this what you're going off of?
no, look,
Oh my God.
it's awful. It is a bad trade.
What? We just got through
Well,
discussing how.
no, it's not a bad trade. It's just the fact that
No, tell the truth. You just lost the Hall of Famer for 2 first-round picks.
And Kenny Clark,
we got Kenny Clark as well.
Pro Bowl defensive tackle.
Okay. So you just lost a Hall of Famer for 2 first-round picks. I'm gonna say that again.
Essentially, yes.
Like make it make sense. Make it make sense. Let's really think about this. Future Hall of Famer for 2 first-round picks. Jerry just sold y'all up the river.
Better than the Luka trade.
Look, he didn't want to.
when
Micah
you-
got 50 a year. He didn't want to pay that. I mean,
When you have the number,
what?
when you have the number one, like dude, he's probably number one in his position. Let's keep it all the way real.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's the best edge in
You
football.
just lost him for 3 players. 2 players you don't even know what to be.
Yeah. No, you're right, and they're going to be late.
The
And they're going to be
laughing
late
stock
first
of
round picks.
football.
They're going to be late first round picks.
The laughing stock of football. But listen, when you're the number one grossing NFL team, see, but people don't understand. See, they think we're going to be the laughing stock. See, the one thing that the Giants do better than the Cowboys is called rebuild. See, after I win a Super Bowl, I can rebuild again. See, Jerry don't know how to rebuild because it's too personal for him.
No, I mean, I look. I mean, we were live on the show on our show right now that you're on, and we were saying, you know, we think Micah, you know, this is all just part of the negotiation, whatever, and we think that he'll be back, and Jerry will sign him eventually, and 2 minutes later, there's the tweet.
Breaking news.
Breaking
we
news.
were ending the show. We were wrapping it up, and then I just see on Chase's phone the football notification. I went, "Nah, that's fake." He went, "No, it's real." I went, "No, it's fake." And then it was the same. It was
Once one
literally-
came, 20 others came.
I think it was the same conversation we had when Luka got traded. It was, "No, it's fake, Chase." Like, no, this isn't real. And I'm
Luka
like, "Oh, no, it's real."
felt fake, yeah. But I mean, it's like I'm obviously not happy, but this doesn't compare even in the slightest to Luka.
No.
Not even Micah's not Luka. Compares nothing. I mean,
Well, I think it does. I think it actually it's even worse.
why is that? The
Because
Cowboys weren't
you-
winning anything anyway. Like my dad was just on the call with us.
Yeah.
And like we're not winning with or without Micah. Luka, we could win with. We were just there. We were 3 wins
No,
away.
I mean, yeah, you were just there, but you didn't get over the hump. Like, I don't think people understand how hard it is to win an NBA championship.
Well, is Anthony Davis the answer to getting over that hump? I mean, the Cowboys didn't have they haven't been there. They haven't had a chance.
We can't even find the hump.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Mavs were there, and their window was open for the next 5-10 years with Luka, and I don't know. I mean, this doesn't compare at all to me. Like, I'm not like
In tears.
gasping for air right now and crying in tears. Because we lost our generational talent. It doesn't do as much for me.
That move just puts y'all real far back. Like, because again, I don't think Washington is going to be what they think they're going to be like they was last year. Washington is not going to be what they were last year.
Well, look, I mean,
I will agree in that I don't think Deebo Samuel's the answer. I do think Jaden Daniels is on his way to being a superstar, but I don't think they've put the right pieces around him yet. I think Deebo's washed. He's old.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, like I said, Coach, the Cowboys, they weren't, and you know firsthand that they're not doing anything with or without Micah. I mean, it's just how it goes. And look, at the end of the day, yeah, they got a pretty whatever return for him. But at the end of the day, Jerry didn't have to pay him
You keep saying that. You got it. What kind of return?
whatever. I mean, it's just like it's nothing compares to Micah Parsons.
More
But
first
like,
round picks than we got for Luka.
Chase, you traded in a Rolls Royce and you just got a Buick back. I mean, I'm sorry.
Whatever.
Like,
However
I mean-
you want to look at it, it's not a good trade. It's whatever. But Jerry doesn't have to pay him $200 million, and that can go.
But he needed to.
But
That can go where? It's not going to go nowhere. Jerry doesn't have a good track record of rebuilding. He doesn't.
Oh, no one's disagreeing.
He
Jerry
doesn't.
doesn't know a football from a manhole cover, but it's simple that this gives you hope. Even if it's bad, false, stupid hope.
Look,
it's
I mean,
still
coach,
hope.
they can go out. Obviously, look, I know you're gonna laugh, but like, look, they weren't gonna be able to pay Pickens after this year.
They're just not gonna.
I mean,
it's the same agent.
whatever. Again,
You think Mulugetta's gonna be like? You think Mulugetta's gonna be like? Oh yeah, no. Let's negotiate for this new client. No,
Look, that's not his
he's
choice.
Gonna tell Pickens to.
that's not his choice. If Pickens wants to be here, he can be here.
Micah wanted to be here, and Mulugetta nixed it. So I'm just telling you right now, like the age, like unless
Listen,
Pickens.
I think
unless-
a lot of things are going to change. I think you guys are probably going to lose a lot of people after that, including fans. Like, oh my god, like it's
No, I mean, look, they
like, this is
they
going to
posted.
be crazy going into this weekend.
I hope so.
Are you-
I hope that nobody go. I hope the stadium is empty. I hope that they egg Jerry Jones's house. I hope that, I hope that he knows that we are tired of him as the GM. Owner, fine. You're a great owner. In terms of business, he's the best owner in sports history. He's turned a terrible, struggling franchise into the most lucrative franchise ever. The problem is he's the stupidest. When it comes to personnel, he's the stupidest owner ever.
Yeah, no, he is the best owner. He is the
with
best
him,
owner.
it becomes ego for him, to where he feels he's, when you want to be like, no other owner is the general manager. Like, no other owner is the general manager.
Nope.
So when you think that you can do the owner thing and also try to put away, you can't do both.
No, he
The
thinks he
president
can.
can't be the vice president at the same time.
Nope.
Like, you can't have both those jobs. There's always going to be a conflict. There's always, because if Jerry Jones would have hired himself, he would have fired himself a long time ago.
Yeah, no, there was the question. So like they asked Jerry, what owner would hire you as our
Dale Hansen asked him that.
Dale Hansen asked him, what owner would hire you as a general manager? None. No one would.
In any sport.
In any sport. No one would hire Jerry as a GM.
Cricket wouldn't hire him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now I'm getting all these tweets now just showing Luke in a Lakers jersey and Mike in a Packers jersey. Like,
We
just,
lost 11 and 77.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
At least we had. At
It's
least we had the
crazy. I just
stars.
wanted to.
yeah, no, I can call you later, Coach, when I'm heading back home. But yeah, it's crazy times.
Yeah,
Crazy times.
yeah, man. I can't wait for week 2 now. Oh my god, I can't wait for week 2.
Hey, remember the
Oh
name.
my god.
Remember the name, Donovan Ezeraku. Remember the name.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dude, we might hurt Dak Prescott week 2, man. We really
I will
might
say,
hurt him.
I
We
will
might really
say
beat
with the
brakes off
Giants,
of
the
him.
Giants don't have a ton going for them. The one thing y'all do is your defensive front is scary. Brian Burns, Abdul Carter,
Dude,
and Dexter Lawrence are 3 All-Pro talents.
Kevon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and now with that dude Carter, like, I mean,
Yeah.
and just listening to Michael Parsons say, you know what, I think he might be the best player to come out of Penn State. Like, dude, you gotta realize he just started playing the edge last year.
Yeah. Carter's
Like,
very
I
similar
think,
to
and then
Micah.
you can move him, and you can move him around. I think we're gonna have some fun watching him this year. And I'm actually kind of hoping. I'm really hoping that Jackson Dart gets to really start. If Jackson Dart can start the season, like I think he's ready now. I don't believe that we need to wait. I think when you have 41 snaps in the biggest conference in college, playing for Lane Kiffin, you're ready. You're ready.
It'll depend on, and I still like Dable as a coach. I don't know if you do, but I still
Oh
think
yeah,
Dable's the guy.
Brian is that guy.
And
Brian
so
is that guy. Like,
as
I
long as
liked
he
him the
feels
first year we got
comfortable-
him.
as long as he feels comfortable starting Dart, look, you guys, if Dart's the guy, then your future gets so much brighter with him and Neighbors on offense, and then basically, and essentially, all of your drafts from now on will just be trying to find other playmakers on offense
That's
and
it.
trying to find secondary.
That's it.
Because you got the
Because
front,
that's all we really need is that secondary, and we just gotta have the weapons.
and
Yeah.
you have a decent,
You know, like
you have a decent offensive line too. It's not awful.
Yeah. So we're definitely gonna see what we can do. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be big. So, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys go, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I know y'all got the show
Appreciate
going
the
on
call,
right now.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Sorry, that was
We're getting all the perspectives right now. This is I don't want the show to continue on because like we're about to hit 2 hours.
But to be fair, this is a pretty
Yeah, this is a really fun episode. This has been a really fun episode, honestly. I'm actually rarely does news like this break on our show. Actually, Chase can vouch for this. Normally, news breaks a couple hours
Right
after our
after,
show,
yeah.
and it makes our entire like
overshown.
I mean, like, look, the guys are just going to figure out how to get on without him. Like, look, we're going to figure it out. I like the package that we got, despite what the Giants fan thinks. I still think the package that we got is valuable. It gives you a chance to be really good. And obviously, Chase, I disagree with your dad. I think that Dak can win a Super Bowl. I think that if this year, hell no. But if you go into next year, you find 2 impact rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you don't need to draft offensive line anymore. You found 5 guys. You have 4 starters. Like, essentially next year, maybe a receiver and maybe a corner to get younger in that position. Like, I'm just saying, like, you obviously would like to re-sign Bland. You'd like to re-sign Tyler Smith.
And Pickens now.
Now, if I'm being honest, I would rather if I can have, now, Bland, Pickens, and
I can disconnect from this. Yeah.
Bland,
We won't take any more calls.
Bland, Pickens, and Smith. I'd rather keep Bland. Sorry. I'd rather keep Smith and Pickens.
Of course.
Let Bland go.
Yes.
Find a corner in the draft. That's just what I would say. But we'll see, Chase. We're going to go and end the show there. Now that we know what the return package is, 2 firsts and Kenny Clark, I'm happy with that. That's not a bad. That is not a bad package for Micah Parsons. The Cowboys will start week 1 without him. We'll see what this team looks like in a post-Micah Parsons era. Obviously, this defense is nowhere near as good without him on the field, but we'll see what it can do and how it adjusts to him not being there. Obviously, Eberflus has had to practice without him there, so obviously this team has been a little more comfortable with him off the field. So we'll have to see what it looks like. We'll talk to you guys next week for our season predictions. See ya.
See you guys.